Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, it feels good to finally be talking about this possibly as a reality. This is Aaron Rodgers expected to be medically cleared by the Week 16 matchup, Christmas Eve, Jets versus Commanders. Something we've been looking forward to. We finally potentially get to see Aaron Rodgers on the field and complete a pass for the New York Jets. But I guess I want to talk about the article, and then I want to talk about if we think it's a good idea or a bad idea. So let me pull up the article first. We'll go into that. This coming from TMZ. Rodgers expected to be medically cleared by Xmas Eve game versus DC. New York Jets fans may have an early Christmas present under the tree, a healthy Aaron Rodgers, who our sources tell us is expected to be cleared medically for game action before Gangrene's December 24th contest against the Commanders. Then it'll be up to coaches and team executives to decide whether the four-time MVP plays. We're told, barring any unexpected setbacks, Rodgers will be given the all-clear before the Week 16 game against the NFC East team in MetLife Stadium. Of course, Rodgers ruptured his Achilles on September 11th, just 4 plays into his Jet career, on September 13th, just days after Aaron Rodgers had cutting-edge surgery to repair the injury in Los Angeles. The injury typically takes professional athletes around 9 months to return. If Rodgers comes back, it would be 104 days from the devastating injury. Needless to say, if the Jets allow him to play, Aaron, who has been practicing with the team since late November, will complete the fastest recovery of a ruptured Achilles tendon. Now, the fastest we've seen is Cam Akers with the Rams. He tore it, and I believe it was 5 months later, 4.5 months later that he came back. But he's a running back juking on his Achilles, where Rodgers isn't even pressing off his throwing or his back foot on the Achilles. He hurt his left Achilles, so it's going to be his lead foot there. So a little bit different type of injury. Despite being given the go-ahead from the medical folks, it's possible the team still doesn't allow Rodgers to play, depending on their playoff prospects. The Jets, who beat the Texans behind Zach Wilson on Sunday, are still just 5-8 and are looking up at 6 teams between them and a playoff berth. The reality is the Jets likely need to win out to have a chance at the postseason. New York plays the 9-4. 9-4. Sprinkle some respect on it. Dolphins on Sunday, and whether Aaron plays the following week could come down to whether the team loses or wins or loses in that game. So I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, there's so much that goes into what like, are you bringing this guy back? You invested so much money, so much draft capital, so much salary cap space, both for his own contract and all the guys that he wanted in here. You molded the team into Nathaniel Hackett and just to make Aaron Rodgers comfortable. Are you going to put him out there and jeopardize potentially the entirety of the 2024 season? And I think a lot of this is going to come down to how Zach Wilson plays. Because I do think Aaron Rodgers at some point this season will get on the field, even if it's in some sort of preseason-esque type of performance where it's like, hey, we're going to do a series or two with Rodgers right now. We're already out of the playoffs. There's nothing you're really going to see here. I would like to see him take the field in some capacity, but at the same time, if Zach is playing well and you have a reason not to play Rodgers, maybe the Jets win a few games and you bring Rodgers in for a kneel or something a little more ceremoniously. I don't want to jeopardize next year, and I think my biggest reason to wanting to see Rodgers play this year at one point was because we didn't know what was going to go on with the offense. Was Nathaniel Hackett the issue? Was the penalties an issue? Were the wide receivers an issue? Was it just the quarterback room was terrible? Clearly, based on how Zach played this past week, when everything goes as planned, like, you don't have all the penalties, you don't have the drop passes by the wide receivers, you're starting to move the ball a little bit better. Now you get this defense playing with a lead. This team can be really friggin' good, and seeing Zach Wilson at the helm of it, I'll be honest, as long as he's playing well, I want to see more from him, whether that's because we want to keep him on the roster as our potential future quarterback, whether it's quarterback 2 next year or as a franchise quarterback, or if you're on the side of the camp of, hey, we need to have Zach Wilson get the highest trade value as possible. I think having him sort of hold off a 4-time MVP quarterback coming back from injury, that would be really cool. But look, if Rodgers is going to be cleared by Christmas Eve and there is money on the line because that is the Jets' final home game and the Jets are going to want to sell tickets and they're going to want to have some type of hype because, look, Woody didn't take out the insurance on the Rodgers contract. That would have saved an additional $20 million. Not against the salary cap, just in Woody's pocket. I feel like there's just so many financial woes that have kind of gone on this year, and so much disappointment from where we thought we were going to be, that I would be surprised if Rodgers was not at least dangled out there for us to see in some capacity. So where do I fall on this? I want to see Zach continue to ball out, so that way it gives us a reason not to play Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to see him turn into a pumpkin and then the fans say, oh, we just want to see what Rodgers looks like, and then we're putting him behind maybe a not so great offensive line, or maybe one that's more conducive to a younger set of legs that can get away from some pressure. I think there's a lot of plays that Zach Wilson is currently making that Aaron Rodgers on 1.5 legs right now may not be able to make. Like 4 sacks this past week. I think if Zach, if Rodgers is back there instead of Zach, you might see 5 or 6 sacks, unless you're saying that Rodgers is going to get the ball out so fast. Some of the sacks that Zach took, he wouldn't have taken, but some of the rollouts that Zach was able to do saved us from sacks that otherwise Tim Boyle or Trevor Siemian, I think, would have taken. So overall, I would love to see Rodgers on the field. I hope Zach plays well enough that we don't have to force him back in there, and I hope it's more of a ceremonious kneel down after a Jets victory over the New England Patriots the final week of the season. Boys and girls, let me know your thoughts of this. Do you want to see Aaron Rodgers play again? Do you want to see Zach Wilson continue to play? Do you not even really care? Are you hoping for the tank still? Let me know in the comment section down below, and as always, go Jets. Jets!